continuing the mission of teaching. Yeah, continuing the mission. We know that there are a lot of challenges to teaching, and there are a lot of benefits. And so we thought it might be helpful to recognize those. The teachers teach sort of upstream, if you will. We know that in promoting the faith, that we are in a post-Christian world, and that we are sort of going against the current, against the tide upstream. And so there's so many challenges to teaching, specifically in a Catholic institution, be it a school or even a parish. But we know that funding is a big challenge. Economic factors, which would include funding. Declining enrollment over the years has been a challenge for Catholic schools, although there was a turnaround that was shown into the current school year. Perhaps that trend will be changing. We hope that that continues. You know, providing truth in sciences within the context of faith. And so that's been a big challenge, faith and reason in the Catholic Church, that the controversy between is the truth, the ultimate truth, or science is valid. And the Catholics recognize that science is proven, science is truths, right? And so, but there's a way that we can teach sciences within the context of the truth. And that's what's so special about the Catholic educational system. And that leads you to an ultimate sense of freedom, understanding the truth and finding that balance. But that can be a challenge. A social emotional learning, especially after the pandemic or during and after, through the teaching. Fortunately, most of the Catholic schools were able to maintain face-to-face classes. However, parishes, most of them went remote. So continuing the mission in spite of the challenges. Non-Catholic students in our Catholic schools, that's a growing population. People are attracted to the Catholic schools, but may not share the Catholic faith. That's a challenge to Catholic school teachers. If you're a Catholic school teacher and you're viewing this, feel free to chime in and add any of the other challenges that maybe I'm not touching on tonight. And I read an article by a bishop, and he says perhaps the greatest challenge is that both the laity and the clergy embrace Catholic education and support Catholic education. Sometimes people feel like it's too expensive or it's great, but and unfortunately there has been a decline. And there needs to continue to be support from everyone. And that support comes first by recognizing the value in Catholic education. And we're going to kind of shift into the benefits. And I think that statement really makes a lot more sense when you recognize what the benefits are of specifically a Catholic education. We know the benefits of education, but in a Catholic setting, the Catholic values, number one, are so important and helpful to lead a young person into understanding the world, to producing a worldview that is balanced and helps them operate and see things differently than the so-called average person. The benefit of supportive and a safe environment. You know, I think that I continually hear that's one of the biggest reasons that people do send their children to Catholic schools. They want them to be in a safe environment that is a supportive environment. And we know that that's not always the case in other settings. An authentic community where we're sharing a common vision of faith and moral behavior, and that drives us and bonds us as an authentic community of believers. You know, Catholic teachers have the opportunity to become a better role model in a Catholic setting. And again, be it a parish or a Catholic school, they're not only teaching, but they're sharing their faith. And that's echoing Christ to those students. And that is the authentic example. That's sort of like point number 2 that we were talking about, teaching in his name. Being that representative of Christ, the face of Christ, children. It's a Christ-centered environment, which is a huge benefit. You know, we want all of our students to know the three persons of the Holy Trinity, but we want them to have that relationship with the Holy Spirit, to have that sense of conscience and to see the fruits of the Holy Spirit in their lives. So Christ-centered is extremely important. You know, to be able to celebrate and have days off on holidays, but also holy days. Where else can you go to Mass on a holy day and have that as a teaching opportunity, a teachable moment for those children? That's a beautiful, beautiful experience for everyone involved. The support that you get from your administration in a Catholic school or a parish, and teaching what you love. If academic subjects in a Catholic school, that's great. We know you love it, but you also love your faith, which is the reason why you're there. But if you're teaching religion, how moving is that you have the opportunity to really talk about something that you love that you can't always talk about everywhere else. And just a couple more here, helping kids to learn and grow. And that can happen in any educational setting. We value all teachers in a Catholic setting, to help them to learn and grow in their faith development. It's a beautiful thing. Every day is different as a teacher. You get the benefits of you're teaching new points, and there's many types of variables to your day, especially in a faith setting like a Catholic school or parish. We're moving through the seasons of the church, and so it gives us new opportunities and fresh ideas to talk about. And finally, influencing the next generation. What a beautiful opportunity to know that we're not only teaching the next generation, we're influencing them as a Christ follower, as a disciple of Christ, one who has a very special calling and role by virtue of baptism to not only understand this faith, but to go out and share this with others. So I think it's a really, really beautiful opportunity for someone who chooses to teach in a Catholic school setting or a parish setting. Lots and lots of challenges, but I think the benefits far outweigh the challenges.